Crossing the street. All right, guys, today I got something a little different lined up. If you've been watching my content, you know I've made a lot of videos about how to transition more smoothly and how to prepare if you're planning to come, but I keep running into the situation where I'm meeting people that didn't have the luxury of seeing all my content before they got here, and now they need help getting out of the hole. And so let's introduce Rick, who I met recently, who I'm about to introduce to you. He has found himself in a bit of a pickle, and I'm on my way to his apartment to hopefully help him figure out how to deal with it. We got a few different objectives today. I'll fill you in more once we get there. Wish us luck. Got to take a moment to shout out Tony from Cafe 1912 for serving me my 4 Americanos this morning, each with a double shot of espresso. So that's 8 shots of espresso, perfection, or as I like to call it, an octacano. I feel great. I feel so good. I feel so good. The reality of the situation when you go a couple of streets back. Just remember that. The same road. And you have the borderline luxury apartments that Megan and I lived in for the first few months that we lived here. It's usually how that works, right? Highly recommend this place. I can't speak to the hotel, but the apartments were very nice. Trio Coffee Bar is a stand-up place as well. Highly recommend the Trio Coffee Bar. I miss it. Used to spend a lot of mornings here. There's basically 3 main streets in Vlora. This is the busiest one. It's called Transbalkanica. Crossing it kind of feels like Frogger. So, you know, let's do it. Is this guy gonna stop? See, you can't, no, he's stopping. Not gonna die today, all right? Round 2, here we go. Looks like I'm gonna make it. All right, what doesn't kill you? How's it going, Rick? I heard you got a problem.
I've got nothing but a problem.
Let's see what we can do. Here I am with Rick, and he's basically going to explain what is going on, because we got a couple of problems that we're trying to deal with today. So lay it on me, Rick. What are we dealing with?
My landlord brought in a wireless router and modem from one home network, and I tried to install it, and I can't get the TV or my phone to work with the wireless internet.
Okay, next problem?
Bank card issues with Charles Schwab, which is going to be a bigger problem.
Okay, and then the other problem?
That's it.
Oh, the cell phone.
Right. Well, the cell phone is the bank card
Oh,
problem.
okay, so yeah, I'm looking at them as 3 problems, but yeah,
Right.
so I think if we're going to work on all 3. I don't know how far we're going to get with any of them. We're going to try. Hopefully we'll get the internet figured out pretty quickly. Then we're going to look into the cell phone issues and then see what we can do about the bank card, and we'll check back in and see what's going on.
That wire came with it. He had it plugged in twice in the back of this, and I thought, well, that's not doing anything.
You're saying he had the router plugged into itself?
He had it plugged in, and he had it plugged in.
How you like that? Yeah, you know, it's perpetual motion. It's endless energy. You take a power strip and you plug it into itself.
Yeah.
Oh man, sky's the
I
limit.
even tried leaving it plugged into that and plugging it into the back here, but I don't think that's the right kind of connection to do that. Well, now it says I'm connected.
Yeah, sometimes that's all it takes is a power down and a power up. So let me see if the internet's
Well,
working.
I tried it like 5 times.
That's a good sign. There it goes.
There we go.
Hey, look.
Look at that handsome guy.
I love it. Perfect. Couldn't ask for better. All right, so problem 1 fixed. The internet is working. On to problem 2.
Well, that'll
we got
save
a
me
winner,
money.
guys.
You know what I mean? That in itself will save me money, because now I ain't going to have to go every 2 weeks and get more minutes.
Hooray. We did it. Oh, great. Piston.
So I went to the Vodafone thing. They gave me this SIM card
Right.
they put in here, which gives me a number.
Right.
Well, now that they switched the SIM card,
Your old number's not working.
the old number's not working.
But you still are paying the bill. It is still a valid phone number, correct?
I think my daughter's still paying the bill, because I was on her account.
Okay.
But I'll have to call and ask, because I don't know.
Is there any way you could do that now, or is it too early?
Yeah, she's at work.
Okay, yeah. But the first thing that I want to do is make sure that because this is the best case scenario, because what you need is a number that is still
Right.
attached to all your accounts that's a U.S. number.
Right.
And then we can figure out why it's not working on the phone. That's easy.
But I keep getting a thing saying that my Verizon one's not connecting.
What do you mean a thing? Like when you try
like
and
a-
use it to
yeah,
text,
like
it'll get
it-
a bounce back that it's not working?
Yeah, I'll get a thing saying that that SIM card may not be compatible or whatever. I forget exactly how it's phrased.
Was that number, the Verizon, was it attached with a physical SIM card, or was it an eSIM?
It was probably attached to the original SIM card.
And
it probably quit working now because of the...
Well, if it's a SIM card and the SIM card's not in there, it's not going to work. Do you still have that card?
No, he kept it.
That's not good. Yeah, that's probably what's going on at this point, which still is not necessarily bad, because hopefully what we can do is get it turned into an eSIM. And as long as this phone accepts eSIMs, then we can reload that number to this phone, and then it should start working again.
Okay.
So it's like what you want to do first is confirm that that number is still part of an active account. So if you can call your daughter or text her or whatever and double check that, and if that's the case, then I'll probably have to look into this, get back to you, but we have to figure out how to take that number and attach it to an eSIM. And then we just got to take your phone. It's just like what you saw me do with YouTube, where basically it's going to pop up on an internet browser with a QR code, and you scan it with your phone, and then we can set it all up from there.
Well, this other site you was talking about, the Telefo?
Tello. Yeah. Tello. Yeah.
So that.
But here's the thing with this. It's like, so I would not start here.
Okay.
Because one of the problems, the biggest problem that you're having is that you need to be able to interact with your bank. You need to validate who you are. So you need the two-factor authentication, which is going to be attached to the phone number that you already had. If you try and set up a new number, it's going to pose other problems. So it's like, we want to start with trying to figure out if this number still works. That's what I would do first, you know. And if that doesn't work, then we can start going down this route.
So what I want to do though is I want to use this and then have my daughter set it up in the United States.
Well, what we'll end up doing, because you need the money first. So it's like this, you're going to want to do this either way, but we don't want to mess with this yet.
Well, the reason I said that, she's got my debit card and all, so she can use my debit card to set up an American line there.
Right.
But then how do I use it here?
That's what I'm saying. Like, we don't want to, these are great questions and we can sort this out and it'll be helpful, but we want to figure out the bank stuff first. So it's like this stuff could pose problems for the banking if we do it in this order, if that makes sense. So it's like, first thing we need to do is just see if we can get that old number working, and then we see if we can get your debit card working. And then you can transfer that number, you'll literally put in a form to transfer it to Tello, and then they'll be able to use it for you. You could set up as an eSIM, what I was just describing before. Does that make sense?
Yes. So the Tello, do you have to do like a year subscription, or do they have like
you can do monthly? You can do whatever you want, and you can make changes to the plan on the fly. So if you're traveling and you're like, hey, I want to have roaming, you can turn it on right there in a browser. You can add minutes as you go. You can add data as you go. It's really, really good.
Can you switch like from country to country?
Yeah, you could set it up to work internationally.
So I got a question now that's completely different in all this. So let's say I decide I'm going to go to Italy for 2 weeks. How do I make sure that I have like data and stuff?
Tello should be able to help with all of that. I mean, if you can get that US number to work with Verizon, you can have all that stuff on your Verizon. Was it Verizon you said?
Yeah.
It'll be outrageously expensive, I'm sure, where it's going to probably be $150 a month or something for yourself. But whereas you could do it on Tello for probably 40 or 50 bucks or something like that. But you should be able to set that up one way or another. Are you planning a trip soon?
Well, not if I don't get my bank thing I figured out.
Right.
If I get my bank thing figured out here in the next week or two, then I would like to go to Italy probably like the second or third week of April.
Okay, yeah.
And spend 2 weeks.
I mean, ideally, you know, you'll talk to your kid in the next day or two, and we'll get this sorted out in the next couple of days, and hopefully you'll get the bank sorted out in the next week. You know, I'd be pretty frustrated if I were you and it wasn't worked out quicker than that, so hopefully we can get it dealt with.
Well, I'm overly frustrated, but I'm not letting it ruin my day.
It's the right attitude,
I'm not
man. That's all you can do.
My time here.
Yeah.
If all I get to do is spend a year in Albania, I guess I'll spend a year in Albania.
We're going to check back in with you soon, man. Hopefully we will make some progress. So like and follow.
Well, I appreciate Adam's help. He's been
thanks, man.
Really great. Thank you, Beth.
My pleasure. Leaving Rick's now. We were able to accomplish one of the 3 goals. He's going to have to check in with his daughter in the U.S. about that U.S. number and see if it's still on an account, still active. If it is, that's good. Should be easy to deal with this problem. We should be able to have that number put on an eSIM, and then we should be able to upload the eSIM to his phone, at which point he should be able to use his phone for two-factor authentication to prove his identity with his bank and get his debit card turned back on. You know, we have our work cut out for us, but the path ahead does not look too bad. And this is just a great opportunity to highlight some of the traps that you can fall into, some of the problems that might come up when you try and make a transition like this. I especially appreciate Rick allowing me to take this as an opportunity to show people what they might encounter if they don't take some of the steps ahead of time that can make some of these things easier to deal with. I've met several people here that they need help and all my content's been focused on preventing that, but I could see that there's a need to help people that are already in that situation. I'm happy that I have an opportunity to show people some options and some ways that they might help to deal with these challenges. Tune in next week and we will have a part 2 to see how some of these things have progressed. Hopefully we'll have a resolution to all of these issues, and Rick can use his debit card and his phone and everyone's gonna be happy. Fingers crossed. Until then, your friendly neighborhood Albania man signing off.